Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Top Watchlist, and today we're diving into 7 war films that don't just show combat, they expose the brutal reality of what soldiers actually face. From World War II heroism to modern battlefield chaos, these movies deliver raw, unfiltered looks at warfare that Hollywood usually sugarcoats. We're talking about films that showcase brotherhood, sacrifice, and the psychological toll of combat with zero glamour. Whether you're into historical epics or contemporary military thrillers, these streaming gems prove that the best war movies don't celebrate violence. They reveal its true cost. First up on our list is Saving Private Ryan from 1998, and honestly, this World War II masterpiece still hits different even decades later. Set during the brutal Normandy invasion, Captain John Miller leads an impossible mission to locate Private James Francis Ryan and bring him home safely after his 3 brothers were killed in action. With powerhouse performances from Tom Hanks and Matt Damon, this film delivers an emotional gut punch that'll stay with you long after the credits roll. The battle sequences are breathtakingly realistic. Spielberg doesn't hold back on showing the true horrors these soldiers faced. While it's not the goriest war film ever made, it perfectly captures the sacrifice, brotherhood, and sheer hell of World War II combat. This one's essential viewing for understanding both the brutality and heroism of the greatest generation. Next up is Guy Ritchie's The Covenant from 2023. And this one's a powerhouse that'll absolutely wreck you emotionally. Set during the war in Afghanistan, it follows Green Beret Master Sergeant John Kinley, who barely survives a Taliban ambush thanks to his Afghan interpreter, Ahmed Abdullah. When Kinley gets sent back home to California, he learns that Abdullah's family has been forced into hiding. So what does he do? Makes the insane decision to return to Afghanistan to save the man who saved his life. Like any Guy Ritchie film, it's packed with intense action. But the minimalist plot forces you to focus on the incredible bond between John and Ahmed. While not based on one true story, it's inspired by the real experiences of Afghan interpreters who risked everything to keep our troops safe. This one hits hard. Third on our list is Full Metal Jacket from 1987. And Stanley Kubrick's Vietnam masterpiece is absolutely brutal from start to finish. The film follows 2 privates nicknamed Joker and Pyle as they struggle under their ruthless drill sergeant's relentless abuse during boot camp. But when Joker finally makes it to the battlefield in Da Nang, he discovers that training was actually the easy part. A lot of people criticize the film's disjointed structure, but that stark contrast between boot camp and combat perfectly highlights how unprepared these young men really are. Kubrick doesn't hold back on showcasing the psychological toll of war, showing us kids who are way too immature to handle these brutal stressors. The profanity-filled dialogue can be unsettling, but it delivers painfully realistic conversations. This might seem like one of Kubrick's more accessible films, but it's still a haunting, unforgettable depiction of Vietnam. Fourth is 13 Hours from 2016. And this Michael Bay war thriller is absolutely relentless from the first minute. Centered around the 2012 Benghazi attack, it follows 6 private military contractors tasked with protecting an American diplomatic compound from waves of Libyan terrorist attacks. When a U.S. ambassador gets killed, the team must keep defending their post while making sense of the complete chaos unfolding around them. This might be one of Bay's most underrated action films, but it delivers non-stop tension that'll leave you exhausted. The most intense thing about this movie is how it never gives you a chance to breathe. It's shock after shock, forcing you to endure the same relentless pressure these contractors faced. Bay brings his signature explosive style to real events, creating a visceral experience that brings this underestimated attack to brutal life. It's intense, chaotic, and absolutely gripping throughout. Next, we have Lone Survivor from 2013, and this one will absolutely destroy you emotionally. The film follows 4 Navy SEALs on a mission to locate Taliban leader Ahmad Shah, but everything goes sideways when they're hit with a targeted attack that puts their entire extraction in grave danger. Based on a true story, it highlights how these brave men worked with Afghan villagers who followed Pashtunwali, a code of honor that demands protection of guests. With Mark Wahlberg and Ben Foster leading the cast, there's definitely some Hollywood star power here, but that doesn't distract from the intense anxiety this film delivers. Every firefight feels brutal and real, keeping you on edge throughout. The conclusion offers a touching tribute to the fallen soldiers, driving home the devastating fact that these incredible, heartbreaking scenes actually happened in real life. It's raw, emotional, and unforgettable. Next up is Casualties of War from 1989, and this Vietnam War drama is one of the toughest watches you'll ever experience. The film follows young soldier Private Erickson, who must go against his own peers to try saving an abused Vietnamese girl. After she's brutally assaulted by a gang of American soldiers, Erickson desperately tries taking her to safety, but is forced to watch her suffer an even more horrific fate. With powerhouse performances from Sean Penn and Michael J. Fox, This film proves there are no clear good guys in war. It doesn't skimp on the brutal details, making it incredibly difficult to watch. But this story absolutely needs to be told. The film does an exceptional job bringing the real horrors of the Hill 192 incident to devastating life. While Fox will always be remembered as Marty McFly, his role as Private Erickson showcases a much more mature, haunting side of his acting abilities. Finally, we have The Hurt Locker from 2009. And this Iraq war thriller will have your nerves absolutely shot by the end. The film introduces us to a U.S. Army explosive ordnance disposal team during the second year of the Iraq War, where staying calm and collected isn't just important, it's literally life or death. When a rebel attack shakes their confidence, everything becomes even more dangerous. This film brilliantly highlights the incredibly important but underrated work of bomb disposal teams while showcasing just how nerve-wracking their job really is. Sure, some veterans have criticized it for being slightly unrealistic, but it still builds tension like nobody's business. The Hurt Locker doesn't just focus on defusing explosives, it exposes how these deadly devices are used to terrorize innocent civilians. Despite a few flaws, it's an incredible tribute to a completely different, often overlooked side of modern combat. And that's a wrap on today's recommendations. Let me know which movie in this list you're most excited to watch, or if you have any hidden gems you want me to check out. Don't miss out on the latest picks. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. See you in the next one. Until next time, happy watching.